Let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk about some motivation, some meditation, some inspiration. If it's not one of the three, I don't want it. Let's get into the mentality. Let's ask ourselves the questions that nobody else wants to ask so that we can become the person that we want to become. Go ahead and set for 1 hour. So what are the challenges that you're facing off against? What are the things that you're looking to work through? What are the things and places that you're wanting to go, and the things that nobody else can do for you? You got to ask yourself these questions on a daily. You got to ask yourself these questions on a weekly. It's nobody else that can do it for you. It's nobody else that can do it within you. And so every day, we're getting down with ourselves. Every day we're getting down with our challenges. Are we getting down with the person that we are inside? Are we down with the person who really matters inside of you? And so that's where we start. We start getting into the exercise of daily practice, the exercise of weekly practice, monthly practice. And we start to overcome the things that, other people wouldn't be able to do for us. So what are those things that you're looking to overcome? What are those things that you're looking to make it to? What are those things that give you the ability to be yourself? So let's go ahead and start talking about how to focus. When you put yourself in a place where your mentality is working, or you put yourself in a place where you start to remember yesterday, where communications don't just get pushed off, where the challenges that you face off against yourself, where what you have inside is important, because you are important. A lot of times people are going to ask you how to do something. They're going to ask you how to become something. They're asking you how to get through something. And it's going to be the person who's willing to do that. It's going to be the person who's willing to sit down with themselves and start to study themselves, to start to truly be themselves, that's going to manifest it on the outside. And so are you that person? Are you giving yourself that place? Are you giving yourself that ability to overcome those kinds of challenges? And it's going to come from within you. It's going to be, when you decide that for yourself, when you decide that within you, that you have what it truly takes. A lot of times people on the outside are not going to feel the same way you are. They're not going to answer the questions the same way you do. They're not going to, not everything is always going to be perfect. Not everyone lives in a perfect world. Nobody in fact lives in a perfect world. So are you making your world, from what you have, from who you are, from, the challenges that you would face off against that nobody else can? And so that's where we start to ask ourselves how the mentality is possible, how the ability is possible. We see these kinds of people all the time. We see them where they have got things that you want. Their ability to open up their wings and to start to spread and to fly comes from liberation. It comes from within. It comes from your ability to be yourself. And a lot of times it's from within that point that we start to ask the questions in the universe. It's within that point that we start to get down with ourselves and start to recognize that we have what it takes. It's such a blessing that we have challenges. It's such a blessing that we have the ability to face off against things. A lot of people don't see that as a blessing. They don't see that ability inside of themselves. They don't believe in themselves. They don't believe in their abilities. They don't believe in their energy inside of their body. They don't believe in their being. And so how do we get there? How do we start to, recognize it? How do we start to become it? How do we start to get into it? A lot of you out there, ask yourself this question every day. Can I wake up tomorrow? Let's live as if we were a part of our whole being, where our mentality is important, where our abilities inside are important. where you believe in yourself, where you truly believe in your abilities to be you, where what you have inside matters, because you matter, and everything that you go through matters. Every challenge that you faced off against, every downfall and every lift up matters to you. It matters within you, and it's an ability to get there for yourself. It's an ability to get there within yourself that starts to manifest on the outside. It starts to, ask yourself the question, am I focused? You start to ask yourself the question, can I achieve this? Can I become it? Can I light up this world in such a way that the manifestation comes from within, where the manifestation comes to the ability, it comes to the challenges, it comes to you. You are a light in this universe. You are a being in this universe. Have you given yourself the permission to sit down with your challenges? Have you given yourself the permission to get to that place inside of yourself where what you take on has no ability to stop you? Where what you take on is the understanding of oneself, where when you focus to that place, it is there for you, where you literally sit down with yourself and grind. You start to get to know yourself. You start to get to become yourself. You start to light up this world in such a way that the being inside radiates light. And so when we start to manifest it, when we truly start to manifest it, it's going to come from a level of focus. It's going to come from a place where, you're going to go through things. You're going to go through challenges. You're going to have things that are going to work against you. And it's going to be with that kind of mentality that you allow the things that aren't meant for you to move out of the way. It's when you give yourself that kind of mentality that the ability inside of yourself has a place, that it has a purpose, and you have a purpose. You have a journey. You started your journey. You started your journey the day you breathed your first breath, the day you started, this life, this path. And so are you recognizing it for yourself? Are you giving yourself that kind of permission? Are you giving yourself that kind of place? Are you giving yourself that kind of being to go through the challenges and gain the lessons from them, to go through the challenges and gain the understanding from them, to focus to that point where what you have inside, blessings, has the ability to have a mentality to go beyond, a mentality to find a place inside to manifest itself, to become a light in this universe. And through the foundation of focus, through the foundation of allowing yourself to be you, it's possible. Through using the tools in the universe that you are, the tools in this universe that you can become, the tools in this universe that you manifest. As you light up this world to that level, as you light up this world to that place, as you start to give yourself that kind of permission, it starts to become a blessing. And so recognize that positive and negative is there for you. Positive and negative is an ability to see. It's the ability to truly choose positivity in your day, to see all things working in your favor, to see all things working in your angle and your understanding of the relationship with the Most High. The ability to get there within yourself. It's not somebody else that's going to do it for you. It's not somebody else that's going to become it for you. It's when you put yourself in a room by yourself. It's when you're down with you, and it doesn't matter what somebody else says or does. It's where your level of focus is. It's where you're understanding that you have a journey, that you have a purpose, that you have a path. And so, have you seen your own journey? Have you gone on your own path? Have you given yourself that kind of place where, what you're doing on a daily matters? When we start to write things down, we truly start to put them in front of ourselves. We start to get to the place where we start to grind to that level, when what we're going through is there for you, when what we're going through is within you, or what you're going through is going to be around you. And when you manifest it, when you truly manifest it on a daily, when you focus to the point where nobody else would go, when you focus to the page where nobody else would go, when you get down with yourself to that level, when you see other people achieve it, you recognize that what they're achieving is oneself. They're achieving one's ability to focus. When you see somebody who's achieved a level, recognize what they've achieved is a mentality. What they've achieved is their ability. What they've achieved is the ability to overcome their own challenges. And so each day you're going to face off against things. Each day you're going to face off against challenges. They're going to ask you if you truly have what it takes. If you can truly do this, if you can truly become it, if you can truly manifest it. And so where is your mentality? Where is your ability? And that's where we start asking ourselves the questions. We start getting down with the person inside. We start getting down with the place inside. We start getting down with the manifestation from within. And so if you allow those things to move out of the way, if you allow yourself to hear what I'm saying, if you're in that dark place and you're looking for a purpose, if you're looking for a path, if you're looking for a journey, look at the level of light that you've created so far. Look at your path and how much it has a purpose. Look at your place and recognize your being. Recognize your challenges. Recognize your level of understanding. And so focus beyond. Focus within. Focus to a place where nobody else will go. Nobody else will achieve. It's within that light inside. It's within that place inside. It's within that understanding inside that you start to light up in this world. It's within that understanding inside that you start to focus. It's where focus starts to become a foundation, is when strength starts to build. It's when other people call you strong from your level of focus, from you doing your own things, from being yourself. And so a lot of times we don't feel like we can be ourselves because somebody else wants us to be something else than we are. Let yourself be you. Let yourself go through the challenges that only you can. Let yourself get to the pages that only you can go through. And so as you start to see those kind of blessings come out from within, they'll start to show a level of motivation. Don't allow yourself to call yourself motivated. Let it be other people that call yourself motivated. Ask yourself the question every day, is what I'm doing motivating me? Is what I'm doing driving me? Is what I'm doing giving me the ability to be myself, to face off against the challenges that I want to become, that I want to achieve? And so are we getting there on a daily? Are we putting focus in that kind of foundation? Are we giving it its own place in our day to have the ability to allow only the things into our mind that allow us to grow, the things into our mind that allow us to be, the things into our mind that give us permission to be ourselves? So as we focus beyond our own challenges, as we get to that place inside of ourselves, the simplicity starts to grow. The simplicity starts to become. The being inside starts to radiate light. So how focused are you? How focused are you becoming? How focused are you growing? Are you giving yourself that kind of time? Sit down with yourself, start to ask yourself the question. And if you aren't, start to write stuff down. Start to put it in front of yourself. Start to challenge yourself to get to the place where you want to be, where you want to overcome, where you want to achieve. And so each day we're going to have these kinds of challenges. Each day we're going to have these kinds of understanding. We're going to have these kind of things, and it's up to you to face off against them. If you ignore them, if you let them just pass to the side, they'll end up showing back up. They'll end up showing back up in your face. They'll ask you the question. Since you didn't deal with it in a positive way, let's go ahead and see if you want to revisit it. So how do you start to revisit that stuff so you can overcome it? How do you start to visit that stuff so that you can become greater than it? How do you start to get to the place where your focus goes beyond it? And that is where the mentality, an able mentality, a focused mentality, a mentality that says, I am who I am. I am this person. I am able to do these things. I can believe in myself. I can become something great. I can do this for what I believe can be achieved, what I believe can become. And so each day you're going to face off against that. You're going to face off against you. You're going to face off against your ability. You're going to face off against your challenges. And it's going to be up to you to achieve it. It's going to be up to you to overcome it. It's going to be up to you to become it. And so each individual day, wake up asking yourself the questions. Did I plan this day out? Did I give myself enough time? Did I sit down with myself to grind, to truly be who I am, to be where I am because I put myself there? Where, each day you answer to the one person inside. You answer to the person who understands that you are a tool in the universe. That this universe was created by people no smarter than you or I. It was created for people who were willing to continue to grind when other people would give up, when other people would throw in the towel, when you are on a stage where you're almost past failure, where focus and knowledge become the place, where the focus has positivity, where you're focusing into positivity, where you're focusing to the point where you're allowing the right things to move in your direction, when you're allowing the right places to go from within, when you're allowing the being inside to grow, when you're allowing the light inside to manifest. Are you focusing to that place? Are you focusing to that level daily? Are you focusing to that grind on a daily basis? And so that's where writing stuff down starts to come in, because when you start to see it in front of yourself the next day, the day after, and you're still achieving it, and you're becoming that light from within, you're becoming that kind of tool in the universe, that's where those kind of tools start to be used. That's where that page starts to become. That's where the tools that you have, the manifestation that you listen to, the being that you want to become start to become important. And so each individual day, you have to recognize that each individual day you start to become it. Each individual day you start to overcome it. And each day that you give yourself that place, each day that you give yourself that kind of permission, each day that you give yourself that kind of light, each day that you recognize it for yourself, that is a day that you've succeeded, because you recognize that your path, your story, your journey is worth it. And so when you're allowing yourself to have an able mentality, when you are putting yourself in a place where you are affirming that you are a being, that you are a light source, that you are a tool in this universe, and the blessings from the Most High God can work through you and with you, you start to recognize that you can do things and that you can achieve things. What a blessing it is to have challenges. What a blessing it is to have a path. What a blessing it is to have a purpose on a daily. And it's within writing stuff down that you'll start to see your purpose. It's within writing everything down that you start to see your energy. You get to see your level of understanding of your path, your understanding of your journey, your understanding of your light inside. Is when you manifest the process of focus, when you manifest the process of being. And so each day that we write stuff down, each day that we put things in front of ourselves, each day that we listen to positivity, each day that we shut off the things that don't truly matter to you, is a day that we start to become that person inside. It's a day that we start to free ourselves. is the day that we start to become that kind of light in the universe. And on a daily, a weekly, a monthly, a yearly, you're going to have challenges. It's to make it through them with a positive attitude, to make it through them with a positive ability, is to make it through them in a positive way, that you start to use the tools that you have. And what are the tools that you have? Can you listen to things? Can you hear those other people's voices who speak in positive ways? Can you hear those other motivational speakers in the world from their level of focus, from their purpose, from their place? And so each individual's day matters. You matter. It's when you start to focus to that level where what you're using is inside of you, where what you're using is you, where you don't have to change, where you have to become you. You have to get down with yourself. You have to choose positive things in your life, positive things in your day, positive things from within yourself. Each day that you do that for you is a freedom. Each day that you do that for you is an ability. Each day that you do that within you is a blessing. So are you focusing to that level daily? Are you giving yourself that place? Or is somebody else taking over your day? Are you allowing those people that aren't meant for you to move out of your way? Or are they moving in your direction and telling you what to do? Are you putting yourself in a place where you're manifesting light from your level of heating up against the universe to where the grain starts to grow, where the tools that you have start to truly be used, or are you becoming used by somebody else? These are the types of questions you got to ask yourself. This is the type of place where you go within. This is where the light from within radiates outwards, from within the mentality, within the ability, within the challenges that we each individually are going to face off against daily. And so how do we start to get there? Can we connect with people who do that? Can we create a network of people who are here for you to be honest with yourself, to face off against those things that nobody else can for you? And so I want you to start to focus to that level. I want you to start to see it for yourself. I want you to start to become it for yourself. I want you to start to manifest it within yourself. I want you to understand that you are a blessing, that you are absolutely a blessing within this universe. And when you see it for yourself, when you start to become it from within you, when you start to manifest light, when you start to manifest being, when you start to manifest those things, the universe will start to ask these types of questions. Can you do it? Can you achieve it? Can you become it? And it's going to be there inside of you. It's going to be within you that you're going to have to ask the question to yourself. It's going to be within you that you're going to have to become yourself. It's within you that, you started your journey. You started your path. You started your purpose. Recognize you have a purpose. You have a path. You have a journey. And that you are a light source in this universe. That every day that you wake up, every breath that you breathe, every day that you have the ability to learn is a blessing from the Most High. So when we focus on putting those things in front of ourselves, when we focus on giving ourselves that ability, when we focus on that purpose, it has a reason. And that reason is you. That reason is absolutely going to become what you want it to become, to achieve what you want to achieve, to light up to that level where you want to light up to. And so each day you're going to face off against challenges. What challenges do you want to face off against daily? What type of place do you want to create? Have you thought about the world that you want to have? Have you thought about the place that you want to go, the things that you want to achieve? And so how do you start to, have you giving yourself that kind of time to recognize that you are that kind of blessing, and that the blessings inside of yourself can radiate with light. And so each day that we light up in this world, each day that we light up this being, each day that we give ourselves that place, is absolutely going to ask you daily, what is it that you want to achieve? And each day that you ask yourself this type of question is a blessing, because you think, you have emotion, you have challenges, you have a purpose, you have a place, you have a manifestation, and it's called you. Have you given yourself that kind of permission? I see people that are falling apart and bringing themselves back together. I see people that ask me the question, how do I achieve it? How do I become it? I don't understand how to do this, how to be myself. They go to jobs that they don't want. They work for bosses that they don't like. They achieve dreams that they don't want. Heck, even at one time I was doing that. But I want you to recognize that you can achieve and you can get to the place where you want to go, and that it's not going to be easy. It's not about easy or hard. It's about focus. It's about being you. It's about facing off against you. And so, what is it going to take to get there within you? I hope you all see the blessing that you are. I hope you all see the purpose that you are. I hope that this message, if you are in that dark place and you're looking for a way to get out, that you can see you could do it within yourself, that you can become it within yourself, that you are that kind of light in this universe. You are that kind of being. You have that kind of purpose. You have those kind of blessings. And so as you give yourself that permission, give yourself that place, give yourself that purpose, we will all be behind you. All those people that are there for uplifting you, part of the network, motivation, meditation, inspiration. All these people across the world that watch these videos, this is for you. It's not for me. It's for you to hear for yourself. It's for you to become within yourself. It's for you to understand yourself. And so each individual day that we do that, each individual day that we give ourselves that kind of permission, means that you're a blessing. It means that you have your purpose, you have your path, you have your journey. And so each individual day, we're going to have challenges. We're going to have things that are going to ask you the question, what do you want to do? What do you want to become? Can you do this? And each day, the universe is going to ask you the same question. Have you given yourself the time to sit down to study you? Have you given yourself the time to face off against you, to ask yourself this question? What do you want to become? What do you want to achieve? What do you want to light up with? What kind of energy do you want to produce? Do you think a lot? Do you manifest a lot? Does your depth perception utilize it? What kind of tools drive you? What kind of place drives you? What kind of purpose drives you? What kind of manifestation? If you woke up tomorrow and you asked yourself this question, how do I want this day to become? Have you taken a minute to write it down so you could get there? Have you taken a minute to give yourself that kind of time, to give yourself that kind of place, to give yourself that kind of purpose, where you are starting to make that happen? You are starting to make it happen within you, make it happen around you. And so, as we focus to that level, as we truly start to allow that process on the outside to work its way inwards, as we start to head into ourselves, into our being, into our ability, we start to use that process of that internal breath in such a way that it starts to become an absorption. It starts to become a manifestation. It starts to become an inwards journey. And as you start to head inwards, as you start to overcome those kind of challenges, it's going to be from within that you're going to ask yourself the questions. It's not somebody else that's going to do it for you. It's not somebody else that's going to become it for you. It's not somebody else that's meant to. You are meant to face off against you. You are meant to understand you. You are meant to see that you can do it and that you can achieve it. That your light source inside is worth it. That you are absolutely worth it. That you can absolutely light up in this world. That this world can see your blessings. It can see your purpose. It can see your path. It can see your journey as you let other people's journeys become lit up. As you let other people's journeys become more. As you let them see it for themselves, you will liberate yourself. And a lot of times, that's what we're searching for. We're looking for a way to free ourselves from our challenges. When you face off against them, you truly overcome them. When you face off against them, you become a light in the universe. When nobody else could see you, when you start to see you, that's what matters. When you start to study you, that's what matters. When you start to become sufficient inside, that's what matters. When that becomes the page, when that becomes the purpose, when that becomes the manifestation, that level of focus is worth it. You are worth it. And so, as we get there for ourselves, as we open up our light inside to that level, as we manifest it, let's put it in a place of intention, of positivity, where the energy inside starts to overcome the challenges, where the energy inside starts to light up in the universe, where your ability to use your tools to extract your knowledge start to come down to you being the student of your life, being the student of your path, being the student of your purpose. Each individual is going to have challenges. Each individual is going to have things that are going to come against them. And each individual is going to be asked the question, what if you have what it takes? And it's going to be up to you to answer that as a positive force in this universe, because it isn't about somebody else. It's about your path, your journey, your purpose, getting down with that student inside of your life that's going to pick you up when you're in a room by yourself, when everything else around you is falling apart, when everything else around you is not working. That's going to put that day where you see yourself as determined, where you see yourself as a blessing, where you see yourself as a purpose. It's from within that place that we start to overcome our own challenges. It's from within that place that we start to become something great. You are absolutely a blessing in this universe. I want you to see your blessings. I want you to see your purpose. I want you to see your challenges. Are there meant for you to see the positive outcome from those challenges? That positive ability inside of yourself. That ability to start to study your challenges, to start to overcome your challenges, to start to manifest from within. Each individual goes through things on a daily. And when you see challenges and you recognize that you can overcome them, that you can connect your mind through them, that you can achieve a light from within you, you start to radiate outwards. And when you start to make it through those stages where you feel like you're stuck and you keep hitting it and you keep hitting it and you keep hitting it and you start to study it and then you start to restudy it and then you start to master it, the ability to start to get to the place where sacrifice starts to come in, where sacrifice starts to become, where you start to survive your challenges, where you just start to live within you. You start to live with you. You start to manifest from inside of you. When you focus to that place, when you focus to that purpose, when you focus to that part of your journey, when you get down with your challenges to that place, when what we're facing off against is not somebody else, we're facing off against ourselves. And so each individual day we get through those kind of things, each place that we get through for ourselves, each challenge that we face off against is a place of growth, it's a place of purpose, a place of ability. And so what are we going to do? What are we going to become in the process? Are we going to start to sit down and study ourselves? Are we going to start to become who we are inside? And so as you head inwards, as you start to connect your breath as a student, as you start to connect your breath as a purpose, as you start to connect your breath as a place, you're going to start to sit inside of this classroom. You're going to start to sit inside of this purpose. You're going to start to sit inside of these challenges that you face off against daily. And so, what is it going to take for you to get there? What is it going to take for you to go within? Have you focused to that page? Have you gone beyond that kind of message? And so, what can you do on a daily to achieve that? Have you extracted that kind of energy, that kind of knowledge inside of yourself, that kind of place where what you have inside is that? And so, as the knowledge inside starts to become extracted from the internal breath, from the student extracting the knowledge, so does the test from the teacher start to become available. So does the test from the teacher start to become light. So does the test from the teacher start to let you know that your knowledge inside is sufficient, that it is there for you, it's working with you, it's working with you on a daily. And it's that weekly, that monthly, that yearly that you start to see it. Ask yourself how many years you've been alive, how many years have you been on this journey, how many years have you been on this path. Have you focused to that level inside of yourself where what you have is a blessing, where what you have is a light, where what you have is a purpose? Each individual day you're going to go through challenges. It's up to you to gain the knowledge from those lessons, to gain the knowledge from that path, to gain the knowledge from that purpose that gives you that place, that gives you that level of light. And so that's what other people start to see as a reflection of self-study, is meditation. It's a self-understanding. It's a self-being. It's recognizing that nothing inside of you, you don't have to change to be honest with yourself. You don't have to change to be honest with the person that you are inside. And at that point is when you start to create your own practice, when you start to sit down with yourself, you start to sit inside of yourself, you start to get to that place where no one else is willing to go, to be able to get to that place where no one else can become for you. And so as we head to that level, as we head inside of ourselves to that place, we start to ask ourselves that kind of question. What is it going to take to get there? A lot of us are going to have different things that we're going to face off against. We're going to have, to ask ourselves, how can we use our tools on a daily? How can we use our tools every day? How can you get down with yourself to that level? And so when knowledge and focus start to become connected, and you're going to face off against challenges, and you start to use your focus to bypass them, and you start to extract the understanding of your knowledge inside, and you start to extract your level of being inside, and you start to extract your level of reflection, then your discipline starts to kick in. Your discipline starts to become how well you can do that on a daily, how well you can put yourself in that place where you can start to become that kind of classroom, where you can start to become that kind of purpose. And so a lot of times that is where we have to look inwards. We have to look at what it's going to take for us to get there. Are you going to give yourself that kind of permission? Are you going to go through that kind of page? Are you going to become that kind of purpose? Each day you're going to have challenges. Each day you're going to have things working against you. Each day you're going to have to get down with yourself to that place. Each day you're going to have to get down with that person inside. Each day you're going to have to ask yourself the questions that nobody else wants to ask you. Nobody else wants to go within to that level. Even when you are on that page, it's going to be you versus you. Connect your place of discipline. Connect your purpose. Connect your path. Give yourself that kind of permission. Give yourself that kind of connection with the Most High. Give yourself that kind of place where what you're going to face off against today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year is going to come down to your level of being yourself. What does it take? What will it take for you to get there? And as you become that disciplined, the reflection will radiate light outwards. I just want to leave you with a level of light and inspiration from reflection to understand your blessings. As I say, blessings to